So welcome everyone. Welcome to Physics by RN. So I am RN Mehra, and today I have brought a very beautiful session for you. And that is basically about the jobs in physics. And we all wonder that what kind of jobs are available in the field of physics. And we all want to know that one day, what kind of life I will be living if I become a very good physics student. What are all the possible paths I can take in the field of physics? And whatever dreams I have, may I be able to fill through the career in physics. Now there are many rumors around it, and I want to make that clear. Many people says that okay, engineering is much better than physics for the point of view of the jobs. Some people say that okay, physics is very good for research. Some people says that physics is a pure sciences and only career that you can make is either teaching or a research. So these are all the myths we have all heard throughout the life, and then we keep on hearing many sort of things, and only two or three basic careers are known to everyone. So in the last, you can say, 7 to 8 years of my pure journey in physics, I came across many battles, I came across many careers, I came across many experiences, and I tried to compile all of that experience and bring it in front of you. So for this session I have not googled anything, because I have not used Google even once to make this session. This session is entirely based on the experiences I had in my life, the people I saw, and what I saw that what are the physics students doing in their careers, and what I personally did in my career to make a good living out of the physics. Okay. So just to have a very quick that who is your speaker. So I am RN Mehra, and if you are not familiar with me, that I have basically I have cleared the basic examinations you might be heard of: IIT JAM, NET, GATE, JEST, and UPSC geophysics, with about which I will talk about today. So after my graduation days, I did my graduation in Punjab. So from a very local state college university, I did that. And then afterwards, I went into IIT Delhi for my MSc in physics. So after my MSc in physics, there was a huge hustle. Ki kya karna hai? The MSc is done. So what can we do now? So then there was a lot of things going on. Luckily, I got into the PhD degree, and it was in the India's top university, Indian Institute of Science. So then there was no other question that what to do. Then if you are getting PhD in India's top research institute, then that's a first choice for everyone. So then I went on to doing PhD. But after 8 months, I realized that okay, teaching is my calling. There was no problem in my PhD. I was doing very good in PhD. Everyone was helping me a lot in my PhD. I published one paper in just 7 to 8 months in an international journal. So everything was very smooth. Everything was going very nice. But only thing was satisfaction was missing. So I realized that okay, no, teaching is my calling. So I quit and I joined as a teacher. So since it's been almost 1 year, and I'm happy doing teaching, and I am basically involved in engineering and medical fields also, and I am also involved with graduation and post graduation teaching. Okay. So I have almost on the daily basis I cover 7 years of physics, and in this 7 years of physics I more or less teach a huge broad range of students from the age of 16 to the age of 27, 28. And I see that what are people doing in their careers once they are done with the MSc in physics or BSc in physics. Okay. One thing which I want to make very sure in this session, that reality is much more. Okay. So I am not saying that whatever I will tell you that is an extent of the knowledge. People might be doing even more things, and I don't know about everything in this universe, but I am just telling you what I know. That out of many physics possibilities, these are the possibilities I know. These are the things you can do. Other than that, also people are doing a lot. Okay. Few things you can't even imagine people are doing. So that I am not covered, of course. So whatever I know, I will try to cover. And the session will be as simple as possible. So I will keep the thing simple, and I will just answer one question: that what does students do after degree in physics? I am not going to tell you what you can do or what you should do. No. To my knowledge, what I have seen, that what actually people done after their MSc in physics or after their BSc in physics, where are they actually doing? So I will try to cover I have thought about every person I know. I have thought about that what does this person did, what does this person did. Nothing like okay, I googled it and what can be done. No. What have actually people doing? So we will do that. Okay. So when I started making the list, I came across the three categories. The number one category, which is the most famous category in our field, is higher education. So once a person do a BSc or a MSc degree, the number one thing that came to their mind is higher education. So you can think that more than 60 to 70% of the people who are making their career in physics are going for this. Okay. For whatever reasons, their reasons I cannot state, but the higher education is the number one thing. In higher education, people are doing MTech, so masters in technology. This can be done after MSc physics. People are doing B.Ed. So to your surprise, many people are doing B.Ed after their MSc degree. And I will state that what will happen after B.Ed. Then people are doing PhD. You all know that a huge amount of chunk of people go for PhD degrees. And then there are other MSc degrees and diplomas as well. For example, MSc or diploma in medical physics, in geophysics, in radiology. So these are some of the diplomas and MScs which are not MSc physics directly, but related to that. So my voice is not audible. Everyone is able to hear me. Okay, clear? Till now, everyone is able to hear me well and nice.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now, second. So I will talk about the higher education in the end. Okay. Okay. What will happen if you do a higher education, and then what will happen after that? If what kind of job you will get. Then second category comes as a government jobs, and this is one of the most favorite thing which everyone is looking for. I would say that a huge chunk of people coming from the middle class families are looking for a government job which can satisfy their financial needs on an immediate level. Okay. So that is in that government jobs, I know these kind of people who are involved in this. Number one is college or school professor. I will talk about both of them, but government colleges and government schools. Then the scientific officer, basically in BARC and DRDO, you know about that. Then comes the UPSC geophysics, in which you can again become a scientific officer, but that is a completely different scenario. Then Airport Authority of India officer, right? This is also a government job. Then BARC stipendiary officer. Then some students or some people I know which are in Punjab and doing a work as a lab assistants. In the government college, they are lab assistants. Then there are some people I know which are medical physicists. There is one person who I know is a librarian, and one person I met in the UPSC interview, which actually goes on for UPSC examination as such, for civil services exams. UPSC, or let's say you call it as SSC exams, and they take a physics as their option. So if you look at the data, many people nowadays are taking physics as an optional and start going towards the civil services exam because of their own interest in the administrative part. So these are the possible government jobs I have seen people going into. I don't know if there is more government jobs to it, but I know these few of the government jobs which people are actually joining, and these joinings are happening periodically. Okay. So second category was government jobs. I will open these fields one by one, but that was just a summary. Okay. Then comes the private job. Okay. So private job, in private job, what happens is JEE and NEET teacher, which I will put myself into this category, where people join into JEE and NEET teachers, and this is one of the very famous thing in our branch, in our field. Then manager jobs. I have many friends who are doing the job of a manager after their MSc in physics, and they are getting good salaries. Then sales executive. Now I don't know that if that person has still continued doing that, but after MSc you also have a chance to get into sales executive. Then software jobs, and you might be very surprised that many physics students, many physics students are entering into software jobs with a very little knowledge of coding, very small knowledge of coding, 4 to 6 months, not even the basics are clear, but still they are entering into the software jobs because the need for the software jobs is much more. Then coming MTech engineers. Now this category also I have seen personally, because when I was doing my PhD in nanoscience department in Indian Institute of Science, I seen many MTech students who came from the physics background, and they finally got placed in a very good companies. Okay. So that is more or less the private sector jobs I know. These 4 or 5 categories of jobs which students are actually doing it. Okay. And then the last comes self-employment. Now self-employment for some people is forced because they are not getting jobs, and for some people it's a choice. Now, in self-employment, people are opening the YouTube channels. You might be seeing one of the example is myself also, but I'm also doing other jobs as well. But some people are only focused on YouTube. Some are having their own coaching institutes. Some are getting into their family businesses. And one more thing I would like to enter, because while I was speaking, I came across one person, और मुझे उसकी याद आ गई immediately. So that person, that is trading. So many people are also doing trading. So you might be heard of the stocks and the trading options. So these are also, one of my friend is doing that. So these are categorized as self-employed. So self-employment, I will not enter today's session, because that self, you whatever you like to do or whatever you want to employ yourself as, that's your choice. I will enter into other three categories one by one. That what kind of government jobs you can get, what kind of private sector you can get, and what kind of higher education you can get, and what after higher education. So if you're getting a job or if you're getting higher education, which one to choose? Okay, so let's begin. Clear? So number one, which is very famous, so I will start with the very basics which everyone know. What is a career after MSc? Let's say your MSc is completed. I am not assuming that you have done MSc from a good college or a bad college or an average college, whatever college you have done your MSc from. Wherever it is required, I will mention that is the good college important here or not. So in some careers, it is very, very important that you have a degree from the good colleges. For example, IITs or NITs. They at that moment, I will mention that here IIT degree is much beneficial. Okay. But first job which everyone knows is scientific officer, or we can call it as BARC, OCS scientific officer. Now, this we everyone knows that BARC is a Baba Atomic Research Center. Now they need scientists every year, right? And you can think of it like an IS officer of physics. So IS officer has a level 10 job. They are government officers. They start at their level 10 job. Similarly, if you join a scientific officer in BARC, you will also join at the level 10, salary wise. So you will get the same salary as an any administrative officer. And your salary in the beginning will be more than 1 lakh. It will be a government job. You will be secure for your life. Okay. And if you want to get into this, so you will be a scientist in physics, and you will be allotted in one of the BARC centers, and you will be doing the research in the physics. Whatever projects they have, you will be executing those projects, and you will be bringing the results. Now, the mode of entry in this is basically you have to qualify GATE physics exam. So GATE physics exam can be written in MSc. So either you are in MSc first year or second year. Even in BSc final year, you can give the exam. But once you qualify the exam, you have to use that GATE result in 3 years. Within 3 years, you have to use that result. Otherwise, that result is cancelled. So an MSc is must requirement for this. So once you have your MSc and you have a GATE result, if your GATE rank is under 70, less than 70 rank you have, you are directly qualified for the interview. So they will directly call you for an interview. They will take your interview, and whatever you perform in an interview, based on that, they will give you the post or they will not give you the post. So your GATE ranks will not be considered for making the final result. But let's say your rank in GATE is not that good. So what can you do? The second option is you give their own exam. So BARC also conducts their own exam, and this happens in March or April. And you can give their exam. You basically needs 160 marks out of 300, and with this much marks you can qualify for interview. And again, they will take your interview, and if you get qualified and in an interview, you will get a post or you will not get a post. So this is the possibility. And what is the chances to get this job? So roughly every year they take 30. 30 is a maximum number. They are taking less than 30, 20 to 30 in last 2-3 years, but 30 is the maximum number. 30 officers they are taking every year. Out of those 30 officers, there are 30,000 plus people who are applying. So the success rate is 0.1%. So it's obviously competitive. So if I talk about the benefits of this job, then it's a government job, secure job. You will be doing physics. You are independent. You can work on more research. More research you do, you will have the time for yourself. You will have the time for your family. You will be close to the you can say your family and your work. So you will get to do the physics which you want, but on an independent scale. But the problems with this job is that it's a very secure job that will help you in immediate gaining of respect. You want to gain respect? Yes, this will help you. In your family and in your relatives, you will have a lot of respect very soon, which you all are looking for, right? You will have that financial stability that you are looking for. Very on immediate level, this job is very nice. That it will solve your immediate problems for next 4 or 5 years, and it will also secure you for future. But there are some cons also for this job. One is that there is a limited growth. The growth is limited because research facilities are not that good in BARC. The projects are highly confidential. You have a very specific designations on which you have to work, right? You cannot work in any branch of physics you want. You have to follow the projects which are coming. Okay, so you have to dedicate your time according to the BARC, and you have a limited growth. Your efficiency cannot go very high because even to get a small machine, you need 6 to 8 months of time. So the research gets delayed. So you cannot expect to make a groundbreaking results by being in a BARC. The second very biggest thing is that if you have a hunger for recognition, that I want world to recognize me one day. When I want to leave this earth, I want to leave that, okay, I gave something back to the society. I gave something back to the field of physics. People will recognize me. For example, whenever we study Gauss law, we are taking the name of Gauss, that this law was given by Gauss. So even after so long he is gone, we are still remembering, right? We are still remembering that person. So that is the thing. That will not be possible in BARC. At least the possibility of that is very, very low. Second, you won't get a recognition beyond your family. Yeah, so family will respect you, but beyond that is very difficult. Then average scale research you will be doing, you will be have monotonous life. Every day you are doing almost the same thing. So that is the kind of even if you want to become an extra efficient, you don't have an opportunity for that, because you can move at the pace at which your department is moving. So that is the cons. Okay, so both pros and cons are there. Then you decide that what is best for you. So that was the first possibility. I think almost all of you might be knowing about that. The second thing I want to enter more into is college lecturer. Now there are many college lecturers. So every state government has their own colleges. Rajasthan has their own colleges, Punjab has their own colleges, Himachal has their own colleges, Madhya Pradesh, every state has their own colleges. Now in that colleges, they need the faculties. Now they need physics teachers who can come and teach. Now the job for this is basically a good salary job. You can expect, this is a pay gap I have written here, 15,600 to 39,100. So this is how the government decides the pay ranks, and the grade pay of 6,000. So roughly, if I give you an idea, that roughly you will be earning in a very starting 50 to 60,000 per month. Very starting, I'm saying, after the deductions and all, you will be earning this much. In the very beginning, after some years, your salary will definitely increase. But in the beginning, I'm telling you. Now the examples for this is, for example, RPPSC exam. So this was advertised last year. So Rajasthan published the jobs. There were almost 30 people, 30 physics lecturer they wanted. So they asked for the people to apply, and then they wanted college professors in RPSC. Okay. So then what is the requirement? How will you enter into this? Right. So first of all, you need, if you're just having MSc, let's say you don't have anything else, you only have MSc, then you at least need CSIR net LS qualified. So CSIR net exam is conducted every year twice. So you need lecturership qualification in that. So once you qualify CSIR net lecturership, you are qualified for life. Whatever jobs comes in India for lecturership in government colleges, you can apply for. Okay. Plus, every state will conduct their own exam. So CSIR net is not enough. Let's say you do not qualify CSIR net, there is another exam which is known as SET. So every state also has SET exams. Okay. So one thing is, very basic requirement is CSIR net. Okay. And then is exam conducting by the states, and then afterwards interview will also happen. So it's a long process. So first you have to qualify CSIR net. You have to keep yourself qualified, or you have to do PhD. That's the second option. Or then you have to do their exam, states exam. Then you have to give an interview. The benefit is, again, it's a government job, secure job. respectable job. You will be respected in your department, right? You will get to teach. If you have a teacher instincts inside you, you will have the chances to teach the other students, right? So you will be getting a chance to propagate the physics, right? The problem with this job, the financial stability will be there, everything is there, but the problem is that it's an unpredictable job. Unpredictable job means that you cannot say that will this year post will come or not. Let's say last year Rajasthan published the jobs. This year Rajasthan will not publish the jobs. Next year Punjab will may publish the jobs. How many jobs will come every year? You don't know, right? So it's a very, very difficult thing to even think about, that you cannot make a plan of it, that next year job will come or not, that government will tell you, right? So it's not happening periodically. Second problem is that PhD students are given the higher chances. So if someone has PhD, they are given some more points, right? So more points are given to you. And if you are just MSc student, those points are zero. So out of 200 points, you are getting 0 points. But a person with PhD is getting 10, 20, 25 points. So the chances for PhD students to get into job is more. I'm not saying that for MSc it's impossible, but the chances are less. You have to do very good in exam. You have to do very good in interview. And if I'm talking about the exam point of view, that exam itself is a long process. You have to study. Let's say you are preparing for Rajasthan state exam. Then you have to also study about the Rajasthan culture, right? You also have to study a little bit about Rajasthan's general aptitude. So that will also be asked from you. And also the syllabus is large. Almost all the entire physics syllabus is there. Then the interview is there. Then the exams are subjective. You might be good in writing the answer. You might not be good in writing the answer. So that's a problem in this, right? But if you think about it, I know one person who was very determined to get this job, and he got this job. So he was from IIT Delhi. He took a 1 year of gap after his MSc. He just prepared for these exams, and he is now the faculty in the College of Rajasthan, right? So things happen. If you want, then things will happen. But these are the problems you might have to face, which I'm just telling you. But also once you get a job, this might be a very good game changing for your career, right? Then the problem is, then you might also have to do many other things, because you know in India teachers are also involved in the other kind of activities, election duties and all of that. So that all is that career. So both, every career has some pros and cons. So I will just mention both of them. Okay. So that is the second very important career. And third is UPSC geophysics. Now I have a very personal relation with this examination. I qualified pre's of that. I then qualified mains of it, and then I went to UPSC Bhavan in Delhi, and I also gave the interview. So I have seen that entire process of 1 year, what happens in this. Now this is by the GSI, right? So we have our, you can say, Geoscience Department of India, right? So Geoscience Department of India also needs scientific officers who can actually work in the geoscience field and work as a geophysicist, right? Geophysics means the study of the earth, earthquakes, right? Then you can say many other things are there. So satellite remote sensing is there, right? So mineralogy is there. So a lot of fields are there in that you are expected to go and do in the field of work as a field of physics in the geophysics basically. This is again the level 10 job. So very, very prestigious job. UPSC is taking the exam. Every year UPSC takes. So one thing is, every year this exam happens. Salary will be again same as BARC, more than 1 lakh. In some context, this is better than BARC, salary wise, because they will be giving you much more perks than BARC. Okay, because the happening is, this is a central government job. So in central government job, you are always expected to be in the, you can choose the location where you want to be after a few years. So little bit, some perks are more in this field. And then the mode of entry is UPSC geophysics examination. Now this examination is not like that you go one day and you give an exam. So it's a 3-stage exam. First will be prelims, which happens in February. Okay, so in February what will happen, they will ask you for prelims exam, and there will be 2 prelims. Number 1 will be, so it will happen on the, I think, same day. Yeah, in the morning 1 prelims will happen, in the afternoon 2nd prelims will happen. So 2 2-hour exams. So 2 exams will be there. One will be purely physics and geophysics. So you have to study physics also and geophysics also. So a lot of geophysics you have to study. That is one of the most major problem in this exam. So one paper will be just physics and geophysics. Second paper will be general aptitude, polity, history, economics, art and culture, current affairs. But that paper is set easy, so that even if you are if you are know little bit, you can answer those questions. For example, who is the founder of Tesla? So everyone know it's Elon Musk, right? So you can at least score 30-40 marks in that paper, and you can get qualified that paper. And then you have to do the physics and geophysics paper. The cutoff will be decided, and then you qualified for main, right? Then in main there are three huge papers: geophysics 1, geophysics 2, geophysics 3, right? So then in each of the paper a lot of physics subjects will be there. 4 physics subjects will be there, 4 geophysics subjects will be there. So almost 24 subjects you have to prepare for your mains, and that's a very, very big thing. You cannot study this much, right? So I qualified mains, but based on whatever knowledge I had, because no one is coming prepared. So everyone is equally stupid. So you just have to be less stupid. You don't have to be very smart in this, but you have to be less stupid. But there are some people who are very much preparing for this exam. Now for this examination, I have made a complete video, right? What is UPSC geophysics? What kind of questions they are asking? What is an actual pattern? I will be giving the link in the end of it, and you will see that entire UPSC geophysics lecture on this. But I would say that this job is very nice. If you get into this job, is very good. But I know a few people who are in this job. I know 2 people who are in this job, and one of them is a very senior level. One of them is just joining. Now the cons of this job is that it's a very unpredictable job. One year they will give 50 posts. Another year they are giving 2-3 posts. Next year they are not just 1 or 2 posts. So you cannot prepare 24 subjects if you know that only 1 or 2 posts are coming, right? So that is the main thing that is very wrong in this. That every year, right? Every year you will just see that it's a problem. It's a very, very big problem that number of posts are not fixed. Then you have to study a lot of geophysics. You are not familiar with geophysics, and then you just have to go through the entire geophysics and prepare for it. So exam itself is a very long and hectic. You have to go to Delhi 3 times, once or Delhi or too close to your center. So examination center is not everywhere, so it is in the big cities only. So you have to go again and again. First go for prelims, then go for mains, then go for interview. So it almost take more than 1 year to complete entire cycle. So it's a very, very long process. And even if you get into this job, it's an extremely boring job. Okay, that's one thing I can give you in guarantee, that this is going to be very boring job, because a senior level faculty I know who left this job and joined the teaching career, because he said that there was nothing to do. They were just creating the work for themselves, that today we will do this, today we will do that, and it's nothing related to the functioning that they should actually do. I should not make these comments, but that's just from that person's point of view. But that job could be boring for you. But the job will fulfill your economic requirements. That job will fulfill your financial stability. It's a government job, so whatever social recognition you need, all of that you will get, because you are UPSC qualified. So you are getting a chance to go to UPSC Bhavan. I still remember when I went to UPSC Bhavan first time. So my father was in different mood. Okay, so he is getting into, and you are getting a very good quality of treatment. You are getting in, you are giving the interview, you are in a suit. So all of that thing happens. So that is one of the things. Okay, but the problems are also. So if you want to know more about this examination, I made the full-fledged video on YouTube about it. Now, next one. Okay, so let me wait for water some. So first 3 things which I mentioned was government. I'm not end with government jobs, but I'm just shifting little bit towards the private sector. I will again come back to government sector again, but I'm just talking about that after MSc, these are the 3 options you had. Now, 4th option is JEE and NEET teacher. Now, this is one of the private sector jobs. There are many coaching centers in India who are providing JEE and NEET coaching to the students. These centers are more or less towards the southern side of India, towards the Maharashtra, towards the Rajasthan. In the northern side, Punjab, Haryana, this side you won't see that much. In Delhi, you will see many. So some states are the hub for this, right? So this is a private job. So in private sector, obviously salaries are not fixed. But from my personal experience, I have seen many, I know many people who are in JEE NEET teaching. You will get around 50,000 to 1.5 lakh in the starting. I know one person who is at the 6 lakh LPA package. I know a one person who is at a 18 LPA package. So I am giving the range from 50,000 to 1.5 LPA. Okay. Minimum I know is 50,000. Maximum I know is 18. I don't know the reality, but this is a minimum and maximum I know. So between this, your salary will be. My salary is also between this. It's little bit more than 1 lakh per month. And mode of entry of this examination will be direct application. So every institute has put the online application in Naukri.com, LinkedIn, whatever you call it, whatever app you open, the jobs are available. And it is available throughout the year. It's not like that today you cannot get a job, tomorrow you cannot. Anyone who wants to get a job, just message me. Okay. I have at least 7 HR's number who are hiring at a large scale on a daily basis. Okay. So I will just give you the number, you contact them, and you will get this job very fast. But there are some criteria which I will mention. So first of all, they will take your online test. And this online test is difficult. It is difficult because it's not like that they are asking you the simple questions. They are asking you the very hard JEE advanced, JEE advanced level questions of all the subjects: fluid mechanics, oscillations, gravitation. If you qualify that test, then they will ask you for demo. That give the demo. How do you teach? Give us the demo of that. And then in the final stage, they will take your interview. So it's a large 3-scale step. But the one thing I will say that if you have an MSc IIT tag with you, any tag of IIT, that will help you a lot. Because I had a tag of IIT, so you can say, I did not give any online test. I gave the demo of 10 minutes and I gave the interview of 10 minutes. In 20 minutes, I was selected. Okay. So because I had the tag of IIT, that will help you. Okay. Not just tag of IIT, but the tag of teacher also. So I was already teaching online. So for me, online test was completely skipped. For me, the demo was only 10 minutes. For me, interview was only 10 minutes, and then I was selected. So that was the, you can have a benefit in this, right? In interview, they will ask you very difficult questions, Gauss law questions, and whatever is your favorite subject, they will grill you on that because they are the senior teachers and they usually ask many brilliant questions. And JEE questions are actually much more difficult than our JAM and GATE questions. I always feel that there is no shame in accepting that JEE questions are difficult because they need more mathematics involved and more tricks involved are there. In BSc MSc, what happens is that we can go through the concepts. That once we know the concept, we can keep revolving in concept. But in JEE, the more matters is, are you coming to the answer or not? Okay, so you have to do that. Then second is that in this, what will happen is that what is the benefit? Let's say you get into this. It's basically 6 months of preparation. Let's say you are at a zero level. You don't have any IT degree. If you have an IT degree, then you can get in 1 or 2 months. But if you don't have any IT degree, then I would say that you need 6 months for this. You can prepare in 6 months. There are many good books coming. You can easily cover the entire syllabus in 6 months. You can become very good in some subjects. And if you look into it, this is a very lucrative career. Why? Because once you get into this, you have jobs opening entire year. You can switch anytime. Let's say at October, in October, something happens with your boss. So you can leave the job and join another. Right? Those jobs are opening every year, entire year, throughout the year. There are many jobs always available in this field. Right? Then your problem solving skills will increase. You will get to teach, and you will get to teach very good quality students. Right? They are very passionate. Right? Yeah, they are Batmiz also. There are some students are, you also know that 16, 17 years of age, some students will also be like that. But many students are also very compassionate about their careers. So you will get to teach them, and your level of physics will increase a lot. Right? And then the thinking you are having in physics will improve. And that I have seen in myself as well. You will have financial stability. There is no issue as such, because in very little time, you can increase yourself. If you are a good teacher, if you know how to teach, if you can make fun in the class, if you can maybe engage the students, if you have an ability to deliver the content, then your salaries will increase very fast. Okay, you can switch, your salary will increase, you will again switch, your salary will increase. or you can even talk to your boss, he will increase your salary. As long as students are loving you, that this field will respect you as long as students are loving you. You are taking the feedbacks positively and you are improving yourself in that within one day, then this field will is for you. But if you are an egoistic person, that somehow your manager told you that student is giving this feedback and you are not changing yourself, some people are like that, then this field is very, very bad for you. Because if your students are not liking you, it means immediately they will fire you. Within a month, you will be out of the institute. And then that's a very, very bad situation, because you quit everything and you have a job, and within 1 month, they just remove you from the institute. So if students loves you, best field. Everyone will respect you. Your founders will respect you. Your institute founders will say, please keep us, stay with us. But if your students are not liking you, then you are out of the institute. So that is one of the pro and cons of this. So think about it. Are you made for teaching or not? If you are made for teaching, then entering into this field will help you a lot, because all the time you will be in the demand. Some institute or other wants you, because every week I'm getting call from one institute to make a switch, right? Every week, every month I have 4 offer letters from different parts of India. But so next thing is, IIT tag is very important in this field. Let's say you are not from IIT, you might be 2 to 3 years behind the person who is from IIT. So that will always be there. So anyone who will see is your senior who is coming from IIT will always be preferred above you. That will always happen. So always remember before entering this field that some point you will be tortured if you are not IITian. Okay, so something will go wrong. Yeah, other than that, 99% time nothing will come up, but that 1% will pinch you if you are not from IIT. So this is the pros and cons of this. But if you're a teacher, if you are born teacher, if you like teaching, just enter into this field. This field will keep you feed for your entire life. Okay, next. Then comes manager jobs. Now this is something new, and this is not most of the people know about. And even I didn't knew before I entered into IIT. Before, once I entered into IIT, then I came to know about this. So there are multiple manager jobs. One of them is product manager, sales manager, delivery manager, program manager, etc. So I know one delivery manager. So let's take an example of that. I also was offered the job for product manager in IIT when I was in campus placement. So let's talk about delivery manager. So in delivery manager, what happens? For example, let's say Amazon is there. So Amazon has a center in Nagpur. Now in Nagpur, yes, I will be taking about PhD as well. So Nagpur also has many deliveries going on every day. Many parcels are coming, many parcels are going. So they need someone who can sit in a Nagpur center and take care of entire delivery system for the Nagpur. So that will be you. You will be the delivery manager of the Amazon in the Nagpur. Similarly, sales manager, like what are the sales happening, what are the targets to give, all those things. Product manager, for example, Byju's. So Byju's has many product managers. For example, Byju's has the course of 8th to 10th class. Now, teachers are delivering the content, students are buying the course. They need someone who can coordinate all of them and make sure that things are going smooth. That teachers are sending the content on time. If the content is not coming, then what to tell to the students, what is happening. So managing the different people together and make sure that they work. And wherever someone is not working, work for on their behalf and make sure that project runs smoothly. So it's a manager thing. So it's a completely manager kind of post. Private job, high salaries. Salaries are usually high. It is between 50,000 to 1.5 lakh. 1 lakh also you can expect very easily per month, not a very big issue. So you have to directly apply to the institute. So whatever you are having, but whichever company you have, so directly apply to them. It's in naukri.com, it's on linkedin.com. Online aptitude test will be there. So they will take some aptitude kind of test, and there will be multiple rounds of interview. So more than one round of interview will be there before they select you. And they are basically checking that how is your people skill. Can you manage people or not? So that is what they are checking in you. Okay. What is the pros in this? What are the benefits of this job? It's a good salaries. You will learn how the business works. So if you have an idea that you might want to do a startup in the future, that you might get an idea that how to make a team, how to build a team, how to lead a team, how to be a team leader, right? And how the businesses work. So that kind of knowledge you will get. And then Pros is that if you are from MSc from IIT or let's say MTech from IIT, then you can directly get into campus placement because many companies are coming from these posts. And even if you prepare for 3 to 4 months before your placements, you can directly get placed in this. And there will be no multiple rounds of interview, just one interview of 15-20 minutes and you will be directly hired. So being from an IIT, you will get a chance to being in a campus placement. So that will be directly, many of my friends got into this job directly from the IIT itself. So that is one thing. Outside, it's a little difficult. So that comes in the cons. If you try to apply on the naukri.com, then the chances that they will reply you is less because many other people are also applying because everyone can do this kind of job, right? So everyone can do this kind of job. So it means a high kind of competition is there. So that makes your chances, selection of chances very less. But if you are in IIT somehow, that becomes very easy. That process becomes easy. I have seen, at least that is what I have seen. I don't know about each and every IIT. So that is the different situation. Now, the another con is that it is nothing related to physics. Yes, you are getting a job, but it's nothing related to physics. You don't have to work with equations. You have to work with something else. And you can get easily fired very easily. So let's say you made a mistake, then your boss will not hesitate to fire you. Okay, so that is also one of the always a problem in private sector, that if you're not good enough, then you will be replaced very soon. Okay, so that is one of the very basic requirement of this, pros and cons of this job. But that is also one of the job which you can look for. Okay, so these are the names also I've given: product manager, salesman. Search these terms on naukri.com. You will find a list of jobs there. There is no harm in applying, right? So at least if you're free, just apply to the jobs. Maybe you get an interview, give an interview. Okay, so that is always there. So keep trying new things, right? Now then, I want to talk about one job which is a government job, but now this job is for both BSc and MSc, right? It's not just for MSc. Even if you have just BSc degree, this is a government job that you can get. And this is Airport Authority of India and BARC Stipendary Officer. So there are two jobs. One is a Airport Authority of India. So Airport Authority, you know, in airport, you need traffic controllers, right? Airport traffic controllers, right? So in airport, I have one person known as Shubham Jangid from IT Delhi, who actually was initially started his career in teaching and then went into the Airport Authority of India. So Airport Authority of India, then when he joined, so he's an traffic controller. So once he's a traffic controller, you have to control the traffic in the air. You have to make sure that flights are coming on time, whatever. So it's a lot physics and logic based things you have to use. So that is one job. Another is BARC Stipendary Officer. Now in BARC, there are many, not officer level job, but a job which is technician level job. Like for example, power plant is working fine. The parameters are fixed fine in the power plant. So all of these things, some technician has to look at. So these are the two jobs, and both of them are level 7 jobs, not level 10. Salary will be more than 50 to 60,000 per month, and it's a government job. So again, government job. The mode of entry is both the institutes have their own exam. BARC Stipendary Officer has their own exam. Airport Authority of India has their own exam. Exam will have mathematics and physics in both of them. So nothing will be different. So in both of the exams, mathematics and physics will be there. So it's a secure job, financial stability, work-life balance will be there. But the thing is again that there will be a limited growth. You cannot grow beyond a certain level. Almost no recognition beyond your family. Field job is there. So your posts are not fixed. So sometimes they will release many posts. Some years they will not release the jobs. So that is up to the institutes. But this is a government job which both BSc and MSc student can apply for. So you can look for it, Airport Authority of India and BARC Stipendary Officer. So that was one of the things which can do. So someone asked about the career in DRDO and ISRO. So that I will talk in MTech section. Okay, so when I am coming to MTech, then I will talk about that. So that was the kind of jobs which you do not require any higher education. So your MSc and BSc is done. You can apply for these jobs directly. But these need preparation. So all the jobs I mentioned needs 3 to 6 months at least preparation. And then you apply for it and then you get into it. So no higher degree is required. So it covers both private sector, manager and teaching, and it covers both government sectors. I know the people from these. There are some people, there are other jobs as a patent officer. So last year, some patent officer jobs was released, but I don't know anyone who is actually in there. So that is why I didn't mention it. So patent officer is also there. Some jobs are also, maybe some lab technicians are there. So those jobs I don't have. They are there, but I don't know personally them, that who are actually working in this, because they're very once in a blue moon kind of job, right? Once in a blue moon, that some year they will come, some year they will not come. Even when they're coming, there will be 3 to 4 posts. That's it, right? So yeah, jobs in CSR also very not transparent. I don't know anyone working in CSR labs. No one other than PhD I know who is working as a job in CSR, right? Whoever is in CSR is working as a PhD scholar. So again, it's not a transparent system, that who is CSR hiring and when they are hiring, and are they hiring any physics graduates or not. So it's a very, very non-transparent system. Okay. All these things are transparent, which I have seen actually. Now, let's say you are willing to go for higher studies. Okay. So now you say that, okay, my MSc is done, but I can maybe study for 2 more years if it is guaranteed that my career will be good after that. So let's talk about that. The very first thing that comes to my mind, and this is because of the two girls I know, that is MSc in medical physics and diploma in radiology. So these are the two different things, but these are worth mentioning in the same page. So medical physics or radiologist. So radiologist, technologist who reads the reports, all of that. Medical physicist who operates the X-ray machines, all of those things. Medical physicist even performs the chemotherapies these days. So these are the jobs which are there. Okay. So there are some institutes which provide MSc in medical physics or diploma in radiology. So this is 2 year course. Okay. So MSc will be provided in IIT Kharagpur and NISR. Okay. National Institute of Research, Education and Research, which is in Bhubaneswar. And then Punjab University is also providing MSc, which is very good. And they have a good employment afterward their degree. So that is also there. And if you want diploma in radiology, that will be provided in the BARC. So BARC is actually providing a diploma in the radiology. What will happen in this, that if you do this diploma or if you do this MSc degree, it's a 2 year degree. After your degree is completed, you are given on a training. So 1 year of training will be there, which will be paid training. You will get paid during the training. You will be getting your hostel and that. And you are in some private or a government college where you are getting the training. Okay. Once you get the training, you can get two kind of job, either in private hospitals or in the government hospitals. Now the salaries are decent enough. I would say it's not a very high salary job, but then you can say that you can get into government colleges much easier. Once you do these degrees, it's easy to get into the government sector, right? You will be an employee of the government in the government hospital, and this is the easiest way you can get into the government jobs. Easiest way. You just need to do 2 years of medical physics. What are the benefits of this? The job is, salaries are there, but less salaries are there. 50 to 80,000 is a maximum you can expect, right, in the starting. And these salaries does not grow at a very fast rate. So they remains almost constant, and then government releases some notification, then your salary again increases. So 5 to 10% is increase every year. So very slow pace increases there. Okay. How you can get into these colleges? IIT Kharagpur, Punjab University, and these NISR, they all accept IIT JAM score. So you have to join this after BSc. Even if your MSc is done and you want to join, you can again do your double masters. That's up to you. But basically, your basic requirement is that bachelor should be done, and IIT JAM exam you have to give. And now Punjab University also has their own examination as well. So you can give that examination as well and enter into that. So it's a very exciting career, especially if you're interested in biology and medicines. You always wanted to work in a hospital. So that's a very interesting for you. It's an easiest pathway for government job. So if someone is very fascinated with the government job, so you will not find a more easy path than this. Okay, because government job is always a difficult thing. Then physics is very less involved. So after a while, you will realize that once I'm into the field, then I'm not using physics on a daily basis. Then it's just the use of the tools or use of that skills I learned. Then you need to learn many new things. You have to learn medicine. You have to learn about the techniques. You have to learn about the medicines. All of that you have to learn. Then the salaries will be low. Limited growth will be there. And in medical field, you can never expect a work-life balance. It's never expected. Yes, maybe someone is getting, someone is not getting. But in medical field, you always remember that you can never expect a work-life balance. So these are the cons and pros of this field. Uh, Go for this field if you're interested in medicine. Because once you're interested in medicine, you can take a struggle of 2-3 years, and then your career will be in the right path. Okay. So that is one of the another career, which is if you are interested in higher studies. After MSc, you are able, or BSc, you are willing to put 2 years. Right. So these are the issues. Then comes MSc in geophysics. I know one Ruchi girl is there, Ruchika is there. So she got a good job in after this. So what happens is that MSc IIT Kharagpur, so you can do MSc in geophysics as well. So who is providing that MSc? IIT Kharagpur is providing, BHU is providing, IIT Dhanbad is providing, IIT Bombay is providing. So these are the four biggest names that comes to the mind. There might be others as well, but these are the four main names which comes up. So these are the jobs. Then this is a 2-year degree. MSc is always 2-year degree, and then you can get a job in government sector as well as in private sector. How to in government sector and how in private sector? So first talk about government sector. In government sector, once you know is UPSC geophysics. That I already covered. So that you can definitely apply. Second is that many institutes, for example, ONGC. So ONGC is also hiring for the scientific officer, same as BARC. So then if you have a geophysics degree, you can get into ONGC. Also GSI, Geoscientist Department of India, is also having many other jobs which are related to just geophysics, in which they do not allow any physics student. But if you are a degree holder of geophysics, then you can apply for those government jobs as well. So many government jobs in GSI, some government jobs in ONGC, and one or more other PSU is there where you can apply for the jobs. Level 10 jobs, it's a good chance to get a level 10 job. And in private sector, if I talk about, especially in IIT BHU and IIT Dhanbad, many companies came and gave the direct placements. Okay, one, I'm forgetting the name. One very famous company is there. What was the name of that? It's a very oil company is there, and one company who extracts the minerals. I'm forgetting the name of that. Very famous Indian company. No, IOCL. It's not an IOCL. It's something very famous. I don't know how.
GAIL, GAIL, I think.
No, that's not a PSU. That's a private company. That's a private. Mandana or something like that. Mandhana, something like this. Some name is there. So they hires on a private sector, and BHU. I remember I met one girl who got the placement. Okay, so it's above 15 lakh. So placement is above 20 to 15 lakh. So the placement will happen at a good scale. Yeah, Vedanta. No, Vedanta. Something was there. So very good placement can happen as long as you are from BHU or IIT Dhanbad. IIT Bombay is not very famous for their placements in geophysics. IIT Kharagpur is also not very famous for their placements in physics. But one benefit is that even if you have IIT tag, as I mentioned, you can get a manager job in that. Because you are in IIT, you can sit in placements. You can get a coaching institute job very easily. So IIT tag will help you in this. So it will serve both the systems. So let's say you're from IIT, so you are getting a tag also. And second thing that you are getting is that, okay, now you can also sit for the campus placements. So then another is that if the private companies comes for geophysics, you are the only one who will get hired, because no other branch can apply for that. So that is a two-way sword you will have. If you want to get, you can study geophysics as well. So there are many private companies, especially these days the companies are increasing in number because it's a very trending thing. Always it will always be in a trend. Okay? Because energy sector will always be in the trend. Even if you look at the stocks, energy sector is leading. Okay, and the salaries will be good. But the problem is that you have to switch it. So you are going from physics to geophysics, even though it's applied physics itself, but you have to learn a lot of different things about earthquakes, about seismology, about the planets, continent movements, magnetic field in Earth. All of these things you have to study. So if that excites you, and you think that you can do much better than any average person in this field, then you must go for this, because that will give you a good career opportunity in the future. Okay, if your only point of view is not research and only job, so definitely from job point of view, this field will help you a lot. These are the some institutes. I am just giving you the hints that you, if you are interested, if something excites you, you go on and search more on these branches, little branches. So 2 years of MSc is something you can give to your career. It's not something very big deal, right? Good. Now, then comes MTech. Now, here I can give you some insights which no one else can give you, because MTech is very, you can say, discarded in MSc branch, because no one wants to do MTech after MSc. But what is the benefit of doing MTech after MSc? There are 2-3 benefits. Number one, what kind of MTechs you can do? I have mentioned 3, but I will tell you one more other than that. One is semiconductor technology, which I think that every MSc student have the priority that they should want to do this semiconductor technology MTech. And this is available in Indian Institute of Science. If you get into this MTech, only 15 people or 20 people will get into this MTech every year. You have guaranteed placement of above 18 lakh. That's my guarantee. That once you get into this, their department is so good that they will definitely provide you more than 18 LPA. I have made the entire video on semiconductor technology. That what is a career in semiconductor technology? What is the work you will do? What kind of jobs will be there? What kind of private companies will come? So all the semiconductor companies, HCL, whoever has their manufacturing plants, advanced materials, right, lamb technologies, all of those companies who have their manufacturing plants, who are working in the semiconductor field, they want the engineers who have the MTech in semiconductor technology. And one of the few in India are only providing that, and most effective is IISc. If you get into this, jobs in the semiconductor technology industry is sure after 2 years. In MTech, you also know that you get paid. You get almost 12,000 rupees per month. So it's not like that you are spending your money. You will be able to make sure that your expenses are paid off, and you can give 2 years of education. And then this degree will always help you. Always help you. Even if you want to go into the PhD in abroad in top 50 universities, still you can do that as well. So you can get into top 50 universities for PhD, or if you want to get into the private sector job, that also you can get, and the salary will be high in that field as well. So that is one very important. Then comes material engineering. Let's say you want to do MTech in material engineering. Almost all the IITs are offering that, and IIT Delhi is offering one more engineering, which is optical engineering. Now both of these I will talk. Rare placements. So if you talk about the core placements, that material science placements, there will be no placements, almost no placements. That is why the MTech are discarded by the MSc students, that even after doing MTech, jobs are not there, which is true. Core jobs are not there. Material science engineering jobs is very difficult to get after MTech even. But some jobs are there. Some are there. Some IITs have some companies coming up in which material science engineers are required, and they are getting placed. They are getting placed from 6 lakh per annum to the 18 lakh per annum. Second thing is that even if you don't getting the job after this MTech, you have two benefits. Number one, very high chances for PhD abroad, which you don't have right now. Let's say you have MSc from a very local college or a normal university. You don't have a high chances to get into the top premium abroad universities. But a tag of IIT and a letter of recommendation from IIT teacher will help you a lot in getting that. Right. So one benefit is that. Second benefit is that you can sit in the different placements, manager post, teaching jobs. So all those jobs, because you have now IIT tag, so you are available, you are able to sit in the placements, and then you can get a job in some other sector if job is the only point of view. Okay, so benefit is that. Third, which I want to mention, is again quantum technology, which is Indian Institute of Science again. So they are providing quantum technology. This is, I would say, the person who loves physics, that is for him. That someone is so much willing to do physics, someone is so excited about the new things which is happening in the, because if you get into this MTech, you will be required to sit in the different departments and take the course of different departments. For example, you will be taking nanoscience courses, you will be taking physics courses, you will be taking applied physics courses, okay, instrumentation courses. So you will be getting 360-degree round and round. And the benefit of that is that your chances to get into top 100 world universities are almost sure. Because I know many students, almost 50% of the batch is in USA. So MTech batch, 50% batch is in USA and doing the PhD in the top research institutions. and their salaries are also good in the PhD, right? So that is one of the easy ticket for PhD abroad. Okay. And if you want to get into this, again, you have to do GATE, NET, just all of that. You already know that any admission in IIT and IISc happens on the basis of GATE, just or NET, right? Excuse me. So that is a benefit. Placement wise, I don't know yet that if anyone is placed in quantum technology. I don't think so, because I think most of them chose the PhD because they were getting very, very good PhDs. It's not like the PhDs less benefit, because in USA your salaries are good. So you can save also, right? So they got into very good PhDs. That is why most of them chose to go abroad. And some of them continued their PhD in IISc itself. So even if you get into PhD in IISc, that's also very good thing. So that are three. Now some other MTech, some people say that VLSI, MTech in VLSI, MTech in data science and computation, MTech in some non-technical, non-physics related fields. I do not know. Personally, that is why I did not mention. I don't know anyone who is doing that. I don't know anyone who is doing MTech in data science. I don't know anyone who is doing MTech in VLSI. People do say that that is possible, but that may be possible on Google. I don't know anyone personally who is doing that. So you might be the first one to do that. Who knows me? I don't know anyone else. So that is why I did not bother to mention that here. These three MTechs I am very much familiar with. So that is why I mentioned. So there are pros and cons of each. If you want job 100% semiconductor, if you want to go abroad, quantum technology, if you want, okay, both opportunities open, material science in any IT or optical engineering in IT Delhi. Okay. So that is one of the another thing. Then comes the B.Ed. Now, B.Ed is also one of the degree which many are doing, and I would say I still don't understand why. Because I am personally one. If you have to choose one field to which I am particularly against, that will be B.Ed. Okay, so I will still try to keep my opinions to myself and tell you the reality. So B.Ed is 2-year degree, and what are the possibility which people say that they have? I don't know if that possibility is there or not, but people say that this is a possibility. So one possibility is that teacher in government schools. So every year government have many teachers. One is KVS schools are there. So many schools, government schools are there, and they need the teachers in their schools. So what happens is that you can apply in this. So once you do a B.Ed is a minimum requirement to become a teacher in the school. No matter if you have MSc, no matter if you have BSc, no matter if you have PhD, you need B.Ed, because B.Ed means bachelor's in education. You know how to deal with students. That's the purpose. So and so purpose. That doing a B.Ed means that this will teach this person that what is the psychology of the students, what is the how does students behave and all of that. It teaches none of that, but let's say that was the so and so called purpose. Now possibilities is government schools, so you can get into B.Ed in that. So every year post come, not in every state. So in some states post come in 3-4 years. In some states posts come every year, but the posts are very few. So very unpredictable post. So some year post will come, some year post will not come. And even if the posts are coming, the level of exam is so large that you have to give this exam, you have to give this exam, you have to give 3 stage of exams you have to give, then you have to give interview, and then you will get selected in the teacher. And you are getting selected in the class 8th, 9th, 10th teacher, 11th, 12th teacher. So there is so much of process just to become the teacher in 8th, 9th, 10th. So that is one thing, bad thing. Second, good thing is that if you don't want to move, let's say you want to make a career in your own city itself, and you have some colleges or some schools where you can get placed, right? So but then need B.Ed. So it's good that you do B.Ed and then go and get a job. Okay, so it's that kind of job. So then private schools you all know is always bad thing. Okay, so what is the private schools do? So private school has a very low salaries. Salaries are only for 10 months. So in June, July, when the summer vacations are not there, they will not pay you anything. So then bad work culture. You all know that they always suck the blood out of the teachers. So some schools are good. I know 1 or 2 schools. My friends are working in that. Some schools are good. Salaries are not good, but schools are good. Salaries are low itself, 20, 25,000. But they at least respect their teachers. That is one thing, that even if they are paying less salary, but the respect of the teacher is there in the school administration. I'm not talking about the in front of students. In front of students, always a teacher has a respect. But in school administration also, some schools are there which gives the respect. Many schools don't even do that. So they give a less salary and also they humiliate the student teachers. So B.Ed, I would, my personal suggestion, don't do it. If you are doing it already, then consult the best person in your field who is actually at the best and try to be that person. Okay, but I personally think that B.Ed is not that worth of in India because it's a very unpredictable field. I am against this field. Okay, but that's just my personal opinion. Okay, so now comes my favorite one. That is why I saved it for the end, PhD. Now, today, my whole idea is to convince you for PhD. So be ready for that. Okay. So if you're not convinced for PhD, you might get PhD convinced. Okay. Because I am a fan of PhD. Okay. I left PhD. I am a stupid person, but I do not regret that. That was my personal choice of teaching. But it does not mean that PhD is a bad thing. PhD is an absolutely brilliant thing. If you get into a top PhD, so PhD will first of all take 3 to 5 years. So your MSc is done. Everyone around you is saying, get a job, get a job, get a job, because everyone is thinking in a small period of time, next 3 5 years, they want to marry you. So they want to show the salary, so on and so forth. All the bullshit is there. But if you look at the long term, let's say you look at the age after 30, so how your life is going to be, average of your life is going to be. Then you observe that if you get into the top Indian research institutes, let's say ISRO, IISc, top IITs, NISR, HRI, ICTS, TIFR. They are the people who you will see. You will go there, brilliant people. Like their knowledge in their overall knowledge is very weak, but the knowledge in their field is brilliant. Like, do you call them, like if you sit them, if you're talking 10 words, let's say they are saying 10 words. I am saying 10 words, only 2 or 3 are useful. If they are saying 10 words, 9 will be useful. So 9 words will be useful for you, and if you pick on those 9 words, your life can change. Now, government is spending a lot of money. There are many instruments are there, all kind of fields are there, different courses are being provided. Even if the student don't want to take the course, the courses are there. Only 4 or 5 students are sitting in that course. Teacher is coming and teaching those courses, topology courses, right? Advanced mathematics courses. So if you want to make a contribution in the field of physics, then PhD is the only way. Not only way, but best way is PhD. So you will get to make a contribution in the field of physics. And if you really want that after 30 years I am dead, then after the 30 years to that time, still people remember me, then PhD is the way that can do that. Okay. So what can happen? Now there are two kind of PhD. One is PhD in India, one is PhD in abroad. So I will talk both briefly. I personally did PhD. I never applied for PhD abroad, but I know many people who went abroad. So what happens is that go for the best college. Don't start your PhD anywhere. Wait for 1 year. That's good. Okay. So let's say you're getting PhD somewhere. Go join that, but don't consider it as your permanent PhD. Always start your PhD at a good position, with a good supervisor, because a supervisor will decide a lot of things. If your supervisor is good, how do you know supervisor is good? Talk to the already existing students. Go to their website. Best way to look at that is supervisor is good or not. Just go to its website and see that is he publishing every year. If he is publishing every year, it means he will complete your PhD on time. Because when every year publication is there, your name will be there in 2 to 3 publications, and you will be out in 3 to 5 years. But if person is publishing in once in 3 years, then that's a red flag. Don't go to that, right? Because that professor is working for himself, that I want to do only groundbreaking work. He does not care that if his PhD student is getting out of PhD in time or not. So always remember, when you are joining the PhD, always make sure that your professor is publishing every year. Even if he is publishing in the good journals, not best journals, but good journals, but publishing every year, go for it. If your professor has a good skills, he is also involved in other things. For example, he's a department, some responsibilities there on him, or he is the placement coordinator, or he is the student coordinator. These kind of people will always help you. Okay. rather than the isolated professors, right? They might be doing very, very great job work, but that work is for themselves. They may or may not involve in you in that, or maybe you will take more time in that. So you don't want to take that risk. So always go for such professor who knows how the PhD field works on the practical levels, not on the ideology levels that I want to do the Nobel Prize research. That you will do, but after PhD, once you are independent, right? So that is one of the things that you should work for. Number one. Second, now once you're in PhD, what happens once you're in PhD? You have to do coursework. Coursework is your choice. You can sit with your PhD supervisor. You can choose a course. You will get to learn whatever you want. Learn that. There are many instruments available in most of the top institutes. You will get to learn that. When I was in IISc, I learned electron beam lithography, gold depositor, right? You can say thin film deposition, XRD, Raman. At least 10 instruments are learned in 8 months. Independent access. I am going in 10 a.m. in the night and working. No one is there to supervise me. I am independent on that tool, right? So that tool itself costs 4 to 5 crores, each and every tool. So you are getting trained on that kind of tools. They will train you, especially if you are a PhD student. And if it's a good institute, they will train you, right? So that is one thing. Then every year you can get to publication. You will get to go on a many conferences every year in IASC. I still remember every month there was a lunch every month, right? So we are working in a lab and they come and say that there is a conference going on. Who is coming in the conference? Okay, last time grant winner, right? So G20 summit is coming, grant winners are coming, USA college professors are coming, Germany college professors are coming. You are making the links at a very high pace, especially if you are in top university, because those people have friends with a very limited people. So even if you met them 2 or 3 times, they will remember you, that okay, we know what we met RN once in the IASC. So once after I will email them, they will still remember that yes, this is the same RN, and he is also working in the field and he came for my advice. So that kind of connections will be there. And then you can also collaborate in a research and you can have a combined patents or combined research papers. So that is there. And then if your supervisor is good, then 3 to 5 years means you have 3 to 4 publications in your bag, and you will then write a very good thesis, and then you are out of that institute. So if you do a good 3 to 4 publications and you are out of the institute, your PhD is successful, right? So PhD success means that you made a links, you did 3 to 4 publications, and that's it. You wrote a good thesis, and you got a PhD degree. So within 5 years, if you go out of the PhD, then it's a successful PhD. So in India, if you want to get into PhD, especially the top ones, GATE, NET, JEST, TIFR. TIFR will give you in TIFR, JEST will give you in all the top institutes, NET, all the top institutes, GATE only in IITs and some institutes. If you want to go abroad, GRE exam is there for USA. Germany or Europe has no exam. You only need letter of recommendation. If you have good letter of recommendation, some good professor who is willing to say that you are a good student, CV, how good you are a student, how many projects you have done, how good have you, what is your prior experience in the research. Then any English test, any basic English test, either IELTS or TOEFL. So anyone you can give. Both are acceptable these days in all the countries. In both the cases, you will be getting paid. So if you are joining PhD, it's not like that you have to bring the money from the family. But at the same time, you might not be able to give the money back to the family. You can give 10 to 15,000. Everyone gives 10 to 15,000 back to family because you get more than 35,000. So you get 37,000 these days in PhD per month, which is better than many jobs, because jobs are even not paying 35,000 these days. Many jobs are not providing. So you're getting 37,000 in PhD for 5 years. Yes, your financial situation will not improve immediately. Yeah. So it's not like that you are going to get a rich in 5 years. You are going to be a survival. That it's okay. I can go out, I can eat, I can send 10 to 15,000 to my family, I can pay my rent, I can pay my hostel fees, and that's it. I'm not saving anything. That's it. So that is 5,000 maybe I can save. So that you can get. If you get a free time, you can do whatever. I used to teach in physics by Iron, so I used to get extra salary from that also. So that's up to you. You get a free time. After 7 p.m., it's your time. So whatever you do after 6, 7 p.m., you can do in PhD. Okay. So that is one thing. And also you are in a college student, so you are in IISc, every year fests are happening, many life is there, so you are seeing the life, right? So in first or second year you get into relationships and you enjoy your PhD, right? So that is the sort of situation you have in PhD. So peaceful life, stressful life, yes. 5 year is a patience requirement thing. 3 to 5 year is a patience. You need patience, you need to be sustain yourself in that. Many days are negativity, you are realizing that nothing is working, because whenever you get into experiments, whenever you get into research, 2 3 months are always hell. You realize that okay, my work models are not working, I'm not getting the results, my supervisor is mad. Everyone, even if the supervisor is best in the universe, you will still say my supervisor is mad. And then when the result come, the same supervisor becomes very good, and when he publish your paper, then he becomes good. So that happens. So ups and downs are there. But if I average it out, once you are out of your PhD, especially if I talk about IISc and IIT Delhi, IISc, if I talk about, I know 3 people who graduated in front of me. I want to talk about those 3 experiences, that's it. I will not say more than that. One, Akshay, so you can search it out. Akshay was not getting PhD because he was in 6th year. So there was some delay, 4 or 5 months of delay was there. So he was just in the process of completing the PhD, and companies was calling the head. So there was one company who was paying 22 lakh rupees per annum to that Akshay guy. And he was basically, company was calling the head that please graduate your student fast so we can hire him. So as soon as he graduated, he directly joined the company. 22 lakh LPA per annum. That's one example. Second example. Second example, I would say my senior completed his PhD in 5.5 years, 5 years, 6 months, all the entire process. And he got, for example, in India, there is a Ramanujan faculty. So he is not assistant professor, but also not postdoc, something in between. So they are visiting kind of faculties or Ramanujan faculties. So in abroad also there is the same concept of Ramanujan faculties. There they call it as a separate thing. So he was getting into that. So very high salary, almost 1 lakh US dollars per annum. Average US citizen earns 60,000 per year. He was earning 1 lakh US dollars per year, which is more than enough to sustain himself and also to save a lot of money. So good paid salary also in the top 50 universities. So let's say in your CV it is written that you are an employee of top 50 universities of the world, and then this is an example that you want to see in your life. Third person, again, postdoc in Germany, sorry, Israel, very top university, Weizmann Institute, very good salary, postdoc opportunity. He was in charge of the one of the very government project there. So he was the head in charge, PI of that. He has 3 PhD students under him. He was in charging them, and that's the 3 PhD guys I saw immediately after PhD, their life transformed. And then after 2 to 3 years of postdoc, they come back to India or they stay there. And whenever they apply to any central university, any IIT, always they have the head that these people will get into the permanent faculty positions. So let's say you get into the permanent faculty position, then you are directly level 13. So there are only 16 levels in Government of India, and you are directly at level 13. There are only 2 more levels more than that. So assistant professor level 13, associate professor level 14, professor level 15, and then your what do you VC level 16. So only 4 levels, last top 4 levels are left, and you are directly joining at level 13. Salary is more than 1 lakh rupees 2 days. At that time, it will be more than 1.5 lakh. You are getting the hostel in a apartment. You are getting the complete freedom of the research. Do whatever you want. Okay, after 1 or 2 or 3 years, you are completely independent of do whatever research you want, because by that time your fundings are secured. You already have the people who will fund you every year. You can choose the PhD students, you can guide them, you can do whatever breakthrough research you are willing to do, right? You have the full idea of your field. So work life balance will also be achieved very soon. Most of the professor I see, they don't work on the work life balance, they just focus on the work. That is your choice, but the possibility is there. So PhD is never bad. Now what makes PhD bad? Two things can make PhD bad. Number one, supervisor. always make sure that no matter in which institute you're in, your supervisor can make your PhD very bad. As long as he is not a good person, your PhD will be bad. So always make sure that whoever you are joining, is his students happy or not. If not, please don't join. Second, not getting results. So if you're not getting regular results, every year you're not getting paper, in every 10 15 months you're not getting paper, then you will soon get into the state where it becomes very difficult to survive or sustain yourself at a longer stage. So that two things can always make PhD bad. There can be other factors as well, but these two things, loneliness can be other than, these are the personal level scale things. But other than that, if you maintain your PhD with a good supervisor, then within 5 years, that's a kind of a tree. By the age of 30 or 32, you will be in a top Indian central university professor, and then you are a professor for lifetime at a very, very large scale level. You are getting crores of funding every year. In IAC, roughly one professor has a funding of 5 crores in an average in 1 year, right? So that's an average kind of money one professor has to allocate in 1 year. Some has little less. Theoretical physicists always have less. Experimentalist has more. That is always there. But that is the kind of level of respect you are getting. No relative is going to respect you. Trust me. So if your relatives are not that educated, your relatives will say that he's studying. Yeah, I am studying. But the people who are Germany, Europe, they respect you a lot, because for them Nobel Prize is everything. And if your research is worth mentioning, then they will definitely respect you. Good publication means good respect always. So I would say that PhD is a career, and if you can afford it, please go join into. PhD will not solve any of the immediate financial problems. So if you are in a very immediate financial problems, then it's up to your choice. Then you have to make a decision for yourself. But if I would say that if you are a little bit patient, if you can stay patient, and if you don't have any immediate financial crisis going on, and if you can afford PhD, try to afford it. Give the examinations, and once you give the examinations, because I've seen almost all the careers. I know private sector jobs, I know PhDs. I have given UPSC geophysics. Yeah, PhD survivability in the initial is difficult, but long time results in PhD, no one can give you better than that. So it's up to you. You are thinking in a small scale level, or you in a large scale level. You're looking at your life from the top or from the bottom. When you are in the bottom, you see the huge crowd around you. When you are looking at from the top, then you see that there is a crowd, but only you are working in a field which is going to give you a better results. So that is a kind of scenario you will see. And government is spending a lot of money. To be very honest, when I was in IC, I opened the new lab. So me and my supervisor both get the lab on the same day. So that's like a dream come true for any physics person, that you get to start the lab from the scratch. If I ask that, this is a dream for any physics student, and that was a dream for me as well. He selected me, and I said, okay, we both will start the lab, and we both go the empty room. And that was a lab of any professor beforehand. So till 3 a.m. in the morning, we are cleaning up that lab. We are looking for the things we can use. So it's like a gold mine for us, that new things are coming out, right? So then we are getting into that. Then we set up the lab. I still remember every day I'm ordering the new stuff. Every day we are talking about the new experiments, that this we will design, this we will design. I met the carpenter. I met the electronic market people. I know the computer guy. I know the technologist. I met all different kind of people in just 6 months. I know that who was the best carpenter and who was the best mechanical engineer who can make all those mechanical tools for us. I went to the electronic market, right, at least 3 times, and I had more than 1 lakh rupees in my pocket when I went there. So I went and purchased the tools for my lab. So that is like, and we set up the lab, and I saw the lab growing. And then I also, on my personal level, I learned all the tools. At least 10 tools I learned. I made the process that this is how my experiment will go. And that I documented, entire documentation for the future people, that whoever will come, that they can follow the same document, and then they can work on that. Right. Within 8 months, I had a publication in international journal. So things happen. So if I was more interested, I could have easily gone into that and pursued that. But that's your choice. I had no force of anything or anything else, no problem at all in PhD to continue my PhD. It was completely purely basis that I thought, okay, if I keep doing that, I will not be able to do what I want. Okay, so that was a feeling, and I that feeling I already had before PhD. So leaving the PhD is only then when you have a clear idea that if this not, then what else. So that was my experience of PhD. So in theoretical physics, especially two institutes I will always mention: TIFR, IISc, and ISR Pune, IIT Madras. I would say then some ISR, Kolkata I would not say. Then I would say HRI is good. Um, if I just talk about the research, PRL is very good. So these are the top institutes. If you get into this, your career will be good. Okay. So again, gate net just you all need. Okay. Let's see what else is left. Okay. So now there are some list of. So from my side, I am done. One thing I want to mention is the career in ISRO and DRDO. Now in ISRO, I trust me, I spent days in searching for ISRO. That I want just one person. I just want one person to find out that who was in ISRO and from the physics department. I could not find that. And the reason being that ISRO is really not hiring any physics person, at least in last 5 years. So very sorry for that. But in PhD, most of I realized that why that is not happening. Why ISRO do not need physics people. And the reason that comes out is very shocking. And the reason is that because they have outsourced their entire physics research. So whatever physics research they need, they have outsourced to the IITs or to the IISRs. All the IITs, all the ISRs have the projects in the ISRO. So when ISRO launch mission happened, the chips which were made were also in IISc. So IISc made that chips. PhD student made those chips, and that chips were inserted, and then that ISRO Chandrayaan went in on the moon. So physics people are involved in those projects, but not as the actual part of the ISRO, but as the outsourced people in the different IIT. You ask any PhD people, they will definitely know someone who is working on the ISRO project. Someone they will definitely know the ISRO project. So if you're very excited about the research part, then you can definitely join any ISRO project in your research institute. But getting an employability in the ISRO for a physics people, I am very sorry to say, is very difficult. Until unless someone applies, some new post comes for it, I cannot guarantee that that will come. Okay. In DRDO also, initially they used to hire 10, 12 people. From last 1-2 years, they are just hiring 2-3 people. So that is also almost impossible to get into. So these two are not directly you can get into. But why? Because they are. So if you want to make a career in astrophysics, join any PhD in astrophysics. That's the best way to make a career in astrophysics. Join PhD in astrophysics. There is IUCA is there, ARIES is there, TIFR or astrophysics department is there. In IISc also they are giving the combined astrophysics courses. Oh, sorry, projects. So join any top institute and do the astrophysics projects there. Okay, with the professor who is working in astrophysics. That will be the career in the astrophysics. Soon you will become an astrophysicist. In astrophysics, there are some standard models. You will be making string theory and all of that. There are some optical people. There are some spectroscopic people. There are some materials people. So everyone is working in different aspects of the astrophysics. Best thing is you have to do PhD. That's it. And after that, you can look for the stars, whatever you want. Right. So that is my take. ISRO, you cannot get into direct job. I felt that it's not possible anymore until unless some new post comes up. Initially, I thought that doing some MTech can be possible, but now that is not even possible. After that, also ISRO direct integration is not possible because ISRO on board is only bringing those people who are needed for the assembly part, calculation part, and all of that. All other thing ISRO is outsourcing, and that you can verify on ISRO website. Okay. So that is why I'm doing. Now I will take the questions. Before that, just two things. One is that I will recommend these sessions to everyone. Go to my channel, Physics by Aryan YouTube channel. And in that channel, you can see this career in coaching industry. I have talked in detail about the selection process, preparation process, how to earn money and skills in BSc and MSc. First of all, I just want to mention from my BSc times, I am self-independent financially. I financed my MSc altogether myself. I am almost finished self-independent from 20 years of age. So you can earn your money along with your education as well, and good enough money. Okay, so I have talked about that in this session, that how you can do that. Then PhD life in ISC, I have shown the PhD life in ISC, what kind of food you will get, what kind of hostels are there, what kind of respect is there, what kind of apprentices are there, what are the fields of research. Then this session is very important, semiconductor industry for physics students. Now this is one of the department which is very, very important and very hidden department. Once you get into this department, you can get a many good opportunities. So you should know about this department, you should know about this industry, semiconductor industry. So go for this. And in last, I have taken UPSC geophysics. So what is this exam about and how you can prepare for it? So these are all the sessions you should definitely try out. Just last thing, that not too more than 2 minutes, physics by RN courses are launched, and till 28th Feb there is a discount going on. Okay, so you should try to go, and for all the examinations we have the students already this year itself more than 60 people enrolled. So that was a very big turnout in just 10 days. So in last 2 years almost 500 students enrolled with me. So we are not a very big name, but one thing is for sure, that I will work more than you. That is my guarantee. Yeah. So we are not a very big name like anything, but always it's make sure that our students should get somewhere. Somewhere they should get placed. That's always my idea. No matter what student feels, but that's always my intention. So the course has started from 20 February. We are just doing the foundation physics in the beginning. From 1st March, I will start the full focused mathematical physics from that, and the courses are available. So you can go on website and app and look for it. So there is a 500 rupees discount going on till 20 Feb. Okay. So now I am open for your questions, and let me stop the session here, and now I will just take your questions.